observed by cyclists. So I did 2 videos today. They were both pretty long, but they were pretty easy to edit. One of them was how to go from hating yourself to loving yourself, which was like a really fun video to do. It was really, I don't know, like it had a message that I really liked, and it was like a different type of video, but it felt kind of rooted in the videos that I'm already doing, and I really enjoyed it. But it took me forever to record it. Like today was, I started like 5 or 6 videos, which I couldn't do for various reasons. I also did the I became an iPad kid video, which was really fun to do, but it took fucking work, man. It took a ton of work because I had this video idea that I can share the idea for it, and then you can decide whether or not I was right to pull it. But I recorded an entire video where it's like forgiving YouTuber apologies, basically. And so I just look at like all the famous YouTuber apologies, like James Charles, Logan Paul, David Dobrik, and then I like, jokingly forgive them. And it's kind of like a bit that's like, because YouTubers for the most part aren't sorry for like what they do and stuff. And the reason that I took it down was just because like, well, first of all, like I want to meet those guys. And like if I do a video shitting on them, that's kind of like defeats the purpose. I think if it's for a skit, it's different. Like, but if I'm just like actively like being myself and just like shitting on them, like it's kind of like being a commentary channel, which I guess I want to stay away from. Also, just like it's kind of negative, and like, I mean, I'm not saying that like the people shouldn't hold the big creators accountable when they mess up, but that doesn't necessarily have to be me. And I'm trying to get better about like when I'm acting in judgment versus when I'm acting in love. Just because like that's my intention, is to just unconditionally love everybody through my videos, and it's not very unconditionally loving to just like tear somebody down and shit on them. But then again, like what's funny is funny, so there's like a balance. I'm trying to figure it out. Right now I'm just kind of experimenting, exploring. My friends are just like, what the heck are you doing on your channel? And it's like, well, I'm definitely posting a bravecast today, but other than that, it's kind of more interesting. But the thing that I want to talk about today is like being yourself versus like not being yourself, and not in like a very hokey advice way, but like more just like my journey. Because in the video of like how I went from hating myself to loving myself, I think it's really the first time on my channel that I'm not like playing myself up as a character. Like in the iPad baby video, like that is definitely being played up as a character. And I think that it's scary to be yourself because the comments hurt more, like you're exposed. It's not like a piece of art you're doing. It's literally, you're just being yourself on camera. But all the creators that I admire who do what I want to do on YouTube, which is like use their platform to spread unconditional love and forgiveness, like there's a lot of authenticity in their content. Like even Mr. Beast has a lot of authenticity in his content. I think people like clip his thing about like not having a personality, but like he definitely has a personality in his videos, and like it's more apparent in some of his older videos than it is now, but it's still very, very much apparent. And I think that just I was scared to show myself in the videos, and I don't know why. It's just sometimes it's just easier to like play a really exaggerated character than it is to just be yourself. But like all those IRL streamers like Jack Doherty, Neon, people like that, like they're all just playing a character 24/7. Like that's not what I want for my career, basically. So yeah, it's just like if you're making content, and I don't really want this to be a podcast for people who make content, but if you are making content, I suggest like trying to do a video where you be yourself, because I was shocked at how authentic and just proud of that video I was, the hating yourself to loving yourself video. It's a very like personal story, so I can't be doing that all the time, but I was really, really proud of my video. Like that's like one of my favorite videos I've ever done. So yeah, like just try and be yourself if you haven't been. Like don't, I know this is cliche, but like everybody says don't chase trends, be yourself, but they don't talk about why. They talk about it in terms of a views and money thing where it's like people can tell it's fake, so it's not going to get views anyway. But like imagine if you got paid like really, really well to like be a clown, like to put on a clown suit and like do a clown act and like do a whole thing where you're like honking your nose and shit. And it's well paid. You know, a lot of people would take it. You know, I need money right now, so I might strongly consider it. But like, now imagine you got paid the same for just being authentic and doing what you want to do. Like, isn't that just like a million times better? I know that there's like a balance, but something that I learned about myself recently, and I think this happens for a lot of actors, is they're always acting. I don't really consider myself an actor because I think it's like I wouldn't act in something for somebody else other than my channel. But, you know, there is acting. Like, I am doing it, and I have acted before. So there's some of that. And, like, I think when you learn stuff about, like, how to portray yourself in a certain way, you just unconsciously start to, like, rely on it for when you get scared or when you get anxious or when you just don't know how to act. You just, like, put on a confident thing. Like, that's what I do all the time, is just like in social situations I just act more confident, and then I like act myself into being a more confident version of myself. And there's nothing wrong with like tips and tricks as long as you're still being yourself. I think I took it way too far. I mean, I've had one of the most disturbing conversations I've ever had in my life, and one of my sisters, if you're watching this, it's with you. I'm not going to use your name, but it was with one of my sisters. And she's my sister. Like, we're pretty close. Like, she knows me really well. And I remember one time I was telling her the truth about something. I think we were like talking about something like not that serious. I was like telling a joke or something, and I was being 100% authentic. And she was like, "I feel like you're playing a character." And I don't know how to describe the feeling of like when you're being your true self and somebody thinks you're playing a character, like how weird that is. Like, you just feel like awkward and like out of place. And like, this isn't like somebody who didn't know me that well. Like, this is literally my sister. So it just goes to show that like you have to be really careful if you have like those skill sets of acting. And I don't think I'm a great actor or anything, but like if you even have those skill sets at all, you can like lean on them too much, and then you can kind of lose yourself. And the pattern that this is, that I learned at the retreat that I went to, which I talked about in the last episode, is called being a chameleon. And you know, like chameleons are people who are like can easily adapt and like have different ways of being in different social situations. And there are tons of people out tonight. It's great. I don't know what the hell is going on in the city, but everybody's like super happy. But like being a chameleon is really dangerous, because you can be really well liked and you can get far, but you just slowly build up this shame at your true self. Like, you never want to be your true self, and because you don't want to be your true self, it's just like it's like, because it's easier to play a character, you just stop playing yourself, and then you get out of practice being yourself. And then like when you are being yourself, maybe people who love you are like, you're not acting like yourself, which is like, it's kind of a mind fuck. I don't really like know how to describe it better than that, but just like the moral of the story is like, be authentic. And I don't think a lot of people, well, actually, yeah, I think a lot of people do struggle with being authentic. Sometimes I think that like the stuff that I'm going through is like weird and different, but I think a lot of people struggle with being authentic just because you can get exposed. Like yesterday I called my friend cutie in front of everybody, and it was like kind of weird. She's like a female friend, she has a boyfriend, and it's like, but I was being authentic. I just called her cutie, and because I wanted to, and it's whatever. And like, I refused to feel bad about it, basically, where it was like, it was fine, but it was like an earlier version of me might have gone into like a shame spiral. Like, oh, because I called her cutie and she has a boyfriend, oh my God, like, our friendship's over and she's gonna hate me. And then I start like really overcompensating and like going, and it's just like, just be yourself, because if you're yourself and you're authentic and honest, like, yeah, there's gonna be some people that don't like you. There's gonna be like awkward moments and just weirdness and whatever, but like, at least you get to live your life, like the very limited time we have, just being you. It's just anyway, it's just like being a chameleon is really really hard. It's like there are worse things. Like you could be like a huge asshole or like a manipulative dude, but like it's really sneaky because you sort of start to be a chameleon to yourself. I don't really know how to go into it more than that, but just like when you act yourself into being, you can kind of lie to yourself about who you are and how you really feel about things. And that's like when you end up with like friends who you don't really like, or like a girlfriend who you don't really like, or just like people around you that like aren't your people, and it's nothing against them, but it's just like you gotta, you don't have to, you can live your whole, but I because I want to do this, and also just because I want to live an authentic life that's mine, I have to learn how to do it, and it's not an option for me anymore. So I'm just gonna really try and be authentic. I had like a little prayer yesterday where I was like communing with my like spiritual self, or like my conscience, or God, or whatever you want to call it. And I asked for a message because I was, coming off of a flight. I was just like really tired, but I couldn't go to sleep. And I just, when that happens, usually I need to do some prayer, or like realign myself or something. And what God told me was stop acting. So stop acting, like in every area of your life. Like if you make videos, stop acting in your videos. Be authentic. If you're just like a person who doesn't really like to be yourself, or you put on a character to fit in, like stop acting. Stop acting and just really be. And you'd be really surprised at how much fun you can have and how easy things can be once you do it. But I'm still learning. I'll let you know how it goes. Love you guys unconditionally, always and forever. Bye.